Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. We'll see what cooks up today. We got. I might have the equipment fixed. I might. Uh, YouTube's not complaining about bandwidth. Let's go over to X and check it out. Also, let's sample the audio on YouTube. As soon as the mouse agrees with me. Come on. Unmute. I might have the equipment fixed. I might. I'm hearing an echo, but I'm wondering if that's because I'm looping it. How does it sound to you guys? The chat is missing. Why is the chat missing? Come on. There we go. Okay, so multi-chat is on. And the feature to send chat through multi-chat is still working. All right, so now let's get on over to X. And let's see how it sounds. I guess I need to hit home because I'm not seeing it in pink or purple. We've got a web browser open, but it's not framed in just yet, nor have I sent out the invites to the and friends. Something went wrong with X. It's not a fail whale, but something went wrong. Let's see. I want the collab settings. Yeah, it's not even running. So like, I don't ever change the address for it, so they could just pop in if they wanted. Still nothing on X home. Could it be that I've overloaded the system? I certainly hope not, because kind of need this. Gift X Premium ends Monday. Oh, that's concerning. Some random dude gave me a USB while pub dancing. Why would you stick that in your laptop? Don't do it. I'm curious what the answers come back, but what I was here for was to see if we are on X. And the scroll has reversed itself. Thanks, Mac. So if the scroll has reversed itself, what else has gone wrong since we started this thing? We've got our display with a camera. But the sync to the server is broken. Let's exit and restart the scroll program. No, it's back. Just clicking it on and off. Nope. It's definitely all Macian. If you don't use their stupid little lat charging underneath, they screw you on the scrolling. All right, so this is off. Turn it on. All right. Okay, good. We're back. I don't have to restart that program. Now, I've got the link for the and friends. Now let's go ahead on over to send that out real quick before we go to the presentation view. Since I've got the window open, but not yet in the software. Let's go to here. Not that one. Come on. I think whatever I did made the computer mad because it's crawling. Let's do new. message. I'm gonna do these folks. All right, so that over here. Going to, well, come back. Come back. Stuff's just flashing all over the place. All right, so here we go. We got a story by High Voltage. We will check that out. I will check it out now, but we'll check it out before I turn on the thing because he likes to use music, so I might need to mute it. Let's see. All right, it's on Instagram. Yeah, sure. It is muted, but oh, that's cool.
Out here doing carrots. Electric vehicle.
Thank you for that. Sweet.
Gonna follow. I got his Instagram. We're gonna tag you in when I get situated. His Instagram. He been amazing for us. I like.
So now I gotta reset it so you guys can see it.
He's amazing. So thank.
Okay, that went all the way back. And it definitely has music, so let's pause this. Because this one does not have music. And then. Oh, I said pause.
Carrots.
The computer's trying to be helpful, and it's just messing up. All right, so now let's do presentation view. And then we'll get down to the window, which might be sized correctly. But as we've seen, I'm off in one direction, guaranteed. I'm gonna share. It's called Instagram. I still don't know if it's working on X or not. That was something I'm supposed to check and did not check because I got distracted by the video of the V4 supercharger. Okay, I can't scroll this window. Oh no, it's scrolling backwards. So of course, that's why it's not scrolling. I don't want their help. I'd do this all straight up from Linux if I could. Hey, it's Eddie. Yes, that's Marcus. And let's see. How's the audio over there, Eddie? Is it doing that dual echoey thing, or is it still normal again? And I'm looking for, well, not live streams. That'd be a Hall of Mirrors effect. Oh, there he is. Instagram. And done. All right, so I was, again, as I said, I was off in one direction. It is just a hair too wide. And perfect. All right, now let's see. Where is. Oh, the scroll was just completely reversed again, even though I just fixed it. Thanks, Apple. All right, let's quit the reverser program and start it back up again, because I will not be able to do the mind jazz of having to figure out which direction we're scrolling every few minutes. Scroll reverser. Yeah. We can make this a little bit taller. There we go. And let's go home on X and see if we show up there. We should, but I don't see it. Interesting. Sorry, distracting post, but Wow. It's not appropriate for this, but wow. All right, so the first story I've got up after we look at Marcus's post, um, the scroll is delayed now, not reversed. December 1st, we signed up for one account with Tesla. Lifetime free connectivity in our Model 3 and was expecting a free account based on the press release, but we don't, and got an ad on a short drive this morning. Anyone else with lifetime premium connectivity seeing the same? This is coming from Darren at Drive Tesla Canada, and um, he has a point. As Tesla will continue to pay Live One monthly for grandfathered users into perpetuity. Sounds like we got musked. uh, I, I might try it out. I got I got I got upset with the way that Live One was treating my paid account as a free account, so I stopped paying them. Um, all right, so let's look at Marcus's post, and then we will get on to a couple of things. Eventually, this thing will play. Oh, I gotta hit it up at the top. It's not the phone. There we go.
Electric vehicle.
I don't know if I have the audio on. It says electric vehicle.
I got his Instagram.
Oh, this guy.
When I get situated, his Instagram. He been amazing for us. I like the concept. I like the concept there, but he's with Basil, so I like it. Thank you.
It's pretty darn cool.
I'll be back.
Thank you, Marcus. Okay, so next we've got. We do have a recall story, but we're not going to start with the recall story. We're going to start with my notes. So we scroll to the bottom. I have to get it out of the way before I forget. Okay, so we've got a note that states that the scroll is reversed again. No, the scroll is delayed again. So in this note, I've got FSD version 13 for AI4 is out. It unparks even from the garage, or will leave your garage. It can reverse. It backs into supercharger stalls. Salty. And then after being salty, I went ahead and took a screen grab of the release notes from the app for Ashok, the lead of the FSD team right now. Software update 2024.39.10. He's at 62% of his installation, and FSD super upgrades every part of the end-to-end network. It includes 36 hertz full resolution AI4 video inputs, native AI4 and neural network architectures, 4. Oh, sorry, no, yeah, 4.2x data scaling, 5x training and compute scaling enabled by Cortex, uh, reduced photon to control latency by 2x, speed profiles on both city streets and highways, start FSD supervised from park within the with the touch of a button. That was pretty cool to look at. Like they didn't need to push the brake, they didn't need to mess with the stocks if they had them. Well, they won't have them if they have AI4. Didn't touch the wheel at all, so you're not pushing the start button or the wheel on the steering wheel. You're pushing on the screen. Well, I guess you probably could, but on the screen you're pushing start, and it unparks and begins. Let's see. Uh, improved rearward projections for collision avoidance. I do like that because sometimes there's just somebody glued to your rear, and somebody up front does something ridiculously goofy, and you need to stop short, and you don't want their ugly thing in the back of your Tesla. So, let's see. I say ugly thing. You could be driving a Cybertruck. And yeah, you still don't want it in the back of your vehicle. Improved rear protection, improved camera cleaning. I'm guessing that would be the front camera on Cybertruck and the windshield cameras on everything else. Because there's not any other cleaning it can do on the other vehicles. Definitely not through software. Uh, yeah. Redesigned controller for smoother and more accurate tracking. Dynamic routing around road closures, which displays them along an affected route when they are detected by the fleet. So that was something they said is happening now, is that the cars are talking directly to each other as well as to the mothership. I don't know if the direct is actually happening. It's part of the patent, but definitely they are talking to the mothership, which is telling them stuff from observations from the others, which is really cool, and it's going to be required in order to get to the level of autonomy they want. I mean, if you find something that's just ridiculous, you can solve it with the first car, and then all the others either just avoid it or have the solution ready to go. Let's see. Upcoming improvements are 3x model size scaling, 3x model context length scaling, audio inputs for better handling of emergency vehicles. I'm curious what this is. I don't know that there are any microphones outside the car. They could use the ones that are in the car for on S and X. They use them for sound cancellation and also the Bluetooth, and then all the others they have them for Bluetooth. And then there's nothing saying they couldn't have added like an acoustic sensor for like rainwater in the tires or whatever. Some of the other brands do that, particularly the luxury brands. They didn't call out that they ever added a microphone to the exterior of the vehicle. Is what I'm saying there. Doesn't mean they didn't do it, but if they did do it, it's probably an AI4 feature. Same way that my what did they call the thing back then? The FSD 2.5 computer added redundant links and power, and then they switched it out for FSD 3 computer, uh, hardware 3. Also upcoming, we've got improved reward projections for navigation. I'm guessing that is just for the training and how it, if it does the right thing, it gets a reward. Improvements for false braking and slower driving in parking lots. I would love an improvement for false braking and slower driving in parking lots. I don't know if that means it's going to drive slower or if it's just going to handle parking lots better. Either way, it usually wants to go the opposite direction out of a parking lot than I would typically choose myself, unless there's only one option. Uh, Support for destination options, including pulling over, parking in a spot, driveway, or garage. And that was something he tweeted later on that it eventually will park in your garage, and there it is in the release notes. It's coming. Efficient representation of maps and navigation inputs. I do think it needs to look at the navigation a little better. Sometimes it goes to make a move, and navigation's not telling it to do so. I do like it being able to be independent of navigation for places where the signage is just terrible or if there's been construction. The other day we were driving and the car got into uh, to get on an on ramp and realized the last moment, yeah, this isn't the right on ramp, and it signaled and got off of the on ramp and then went down the road another 500,000 feet and then got on the correct on ramp. That was fun. I didn't catch it until it was coming back out of the lane because it had been a long day and we needed both of those on ramps from that same station in the day, and I just didn't catch that we were on the wrong one. And the car did, and it did it safely, and so that was fun. Let's see. And improved handling of camera occlusions. They need that because you could have a big raindrop. You could have something just kind of just pop in the way of the camera momentarily, and you don't need to freak out when you've got anywhere from 6 to 8 other cameras pointed. Well, I guess that's not accurate. So my car's got 8 exterior cameras. The Model 3 would have 9 total cameras. And then when you go to AI4, you lose an exterior camera. So that's got 8 total cameras. Either way, you've got multiple angles on everything. Uh, so if you lose one camera or one camera gets blocked, but the others have a view, you shouldn't freak out. All right, so that is that item. Well, let's get back to our recall segment. I think this is the only one. It's the only one I came across this week. It was a short week with the holiday. We've got Hyundai and Kia are now recalling more than 2,000 EVs. Eddie says the audio sounds good. I appreciate that. So I don't know if it means I got to sample it every week or if the change I made will fix it. Um, we will find out. Wow, the mouse is delayed. 208,000 EVs in Canada and the US. I got the reverse scroll going again. I guess I should have just rebooted the whole computer, but fixing the audio was more important to me than restarting the computer. Um, uh, wow. So this recall keeps growing. Hyundai and Kia are now recalling more than 208,000 electric vehicles in Canada and the US to fix a problem with a loss of driving power, which can increase the risk of a crash. Yes, it can. Uh, Anders says, "Good evening. Good evening, Anders. Good to see you." I'm assuming the audio is good on YouTube. I can't reach my X stream. I've got an idea of what I need to do. Let me try it. Um, if I just go to x.com/gcustom slash live, I think that does it. They changed it so it's bigger and brighter and more beautiful or whatever, and apparently removed it from my sidebar. Or that's a side effect of the system being low on spare compute right now. So this is the second time they're making a recall, and let's see. So you got 145,235 Hyundais, including the 2022 to 2024 Ioniq 5, 2023 to 2025 Ioniq 6, the GV60 and 70, the 2023 and 2024 G80, and in Canada you've got 34,529 vehicles that were produced between March and November of this year, including according to upgraded charging control circuits in these vehicles, which may become damaged and fail to charge the 12-volt battery. And with no 12-volt battery, the contactors don't stay open, and the car stops proceed. The malfunction could lead to complete loss of drive power, posing safety risks for drivers. Oh, and you also lose your power brakes if if they use a braking capacitor and it's depleted. Uh, da, da, da. But no power brake doesn't mean the car can't stop. You just push harder, a lot harder. And with no power brakes, you probably also don't have ABS. So then you have to learn uh, to hold the brakes, and then if they lock up, to let them go. And then it's called pumping the brakes, but you should not need to know how to do it if you've got a car with ABS. Um, uh, anyway, back in March, yeah, so this was the same one from months ago, but now it's bigger. Hyundai recall, Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis had a recall for 1,447, 110 electric vehicles, and that recall centered again around damaged integrated charging control circuits failing to charge the battery. This reverse scroll is trippy. Why? It's just so asinine. Importantly, no crashes, injuries, fatalities, or fires have been reported due to this issue. That's a good thing. So I wonder if they are set up like the Tesla, where if the 12 volt does go, they could still use the DC to DC for emergencies, in which case you wouldn't lose power breaks or anything like that. I'm curious what the cause is, and the Mach E is an under-engineered contactor failure that could cause the car to reduce power or outright stop. Had mine replaced last October, no issues since. Not great, but recalls, BEV, or ICE are part of the car world. Hopefully this doesn't inconvenience owners too much. Practical. Keep scrolling up. Theta 2 EV version. We own both Hyundai and Kia that have the Theta 2 engine issues. We are among the thousands that need our engines replaced. Terrible engineering and worse quality control. And don't get me started on the lack of reimbursement for expenses related to these problems. This smells the same. Yeah, that is something right there. Is how they handle their recalls. People keep saying software, but all data points to hardware. If it was software, they would have issued you an update already. Just saying. The software updates are just crutches to keep the hardware from failing. Yes. Limiting charge rates isn't the solution to failing hardware. Neighbor son came in from a different way with a different vehicle than he usually uses. It's a software update through dealers to improve the ICCU, the LDC, unrelated to 12 volt system, just make it more stable LDC. I think the other commenter is right, because if it were just a software update, then they failed at doing it correctly. Problem can be caused by having a high amp home charger that trips charging to a lower level and may pop the fuse if it's damaged. Well, that sucks. I've got a high amp home charger. I use 72 amps. Well, actually, I use 80 amps if you're gonna measure it that way. I'm curious what their car can take, because my Model X can only take 72 amps, while a few of the loaner Teslas I got, the older Model S's, they could take the full 80 amps. Charges so fast at home. Whereas on the supercharger, we're some of the ones that are the slowest out there. Right. My view of you guys is frozen, but everything else looks fine. YouTube says it's not been receiving enough video for smooth streaming. And X is still just showing me a blank screen, so I don't know how we're looking on X. YouTube channel subscribe, I won't say the name in case his channel. Tell the truth. Oh, I thought I watched his latest video. Part about his Bolt EUV that went bad and leaving warning lights on his OnStar communications. Interesting. Yeah, so it's an actual recall, yes. Bring it into the dealer recall. I guess I should have started with that. So that's what we have on Hyundai Kia. Let me fix this scroll reverser. Oh my goodness, the X is back. Turn this off. Put it on. All right, so X is not screaming that I'm giving it too much data, while YouTube is screaming that I'm not giving it enough data. Can hardly win with these things. Scrolling is working the way I expect. This one wasn't really correlated, but like I said, I do touch on the Musk Companies. Neuralink has announced they have approval to launch their new feasibility trial and extend their BCI control using the N1 implant. That's the existing human brain chip. And they are going to use it to implant an investigational assistive robotic arm. So now, not just some folks who are quadriplegic, but also maybe restoring motion to somebody's um, with a robotic uh, arm. That is cool. And having this here but frozen is not helpful. How do I unfreeze it? I've got an idea. I don't know if it's going to do it. Let's go to collab view. And back to presentation view. And that did not do anything for this. Oh, the mouse goes away. So it's probably not frozen. It's probably the screen itself. So let's display manager. Turn it off. What to complain, and then turn it back on. What I don't like is it flashed my main screen during all that, and it flashed the camera. But it's unfrozen. It should not be flashing the camera. All right, we don't want to quit it. Just want to click it and move it up the other way. All right, and back to the notes. So yes, so this may help some folks with the robotic hand, and that is exciting. Can't wait for the person who receives it to be willing to tell us about it. So is that the Canadian one, or is that separate? They also got approved to operate in Canada. It might be the same thing. This is an important first step towards restoring not only digital freedom, but also physical freedom. More info to come, but the Convoy study will enable cross-enrolling participants from the ongoing Prime study. To learn more about the Prime study, click here. So I guess this person could be from both groups, is what it's saying. We've got big changes to the referral program. It is now doubled. Instead of $1,000, you can get $2,000. It has the ability to stack with some of their promotions. And if you wanted, you could go to, let me put it in the chat here. You could go to use my code if you wish. That is, oops, there it is. And if it is full for some reason, then you let me know and I will get you somebody else's code. And Moto, she really loves pushing the doorbell for no reason. Uh, I guess the reason is she likes to push the doorbell. That's fair enough reason, I suppose. All right, so back to so yeah, that was a Tesla referral program. They are really trying to hit some volume numbers for the end of the year, and so make it happen. What? Do it. You can't see me. All right, are you supposed to wear shoes in the house? Long time, huh? Oh, you see a goose. Oh, did you fight the goose? Good. Don't fight the goose. They're strong. You can't see the goose. Did they go away? You want to see the goose? Well, you're just outside. That's where the goose are. You saw five goose? Five geese? Mm. So why'd you come inside if you wanted to see them? Look, Daddy, what? Here, what? Spider Man. Yeah, there are Spider Man stickers there. Yeah, Spider Man. Hmm? A bicycle. Use your scooter more, and then we can talk about a bicycle. Ah, a bicycle. Although, we did put together a bicycle for her cousin at that age, so it could be time. Yeah, so that was the referral program updates. Let's continue on. We've got some news from Rivian. Let's copy Rivian's link here, paste it on over here. Right, paste and go isn't working today for some reason, but I can still Command V and enter. So there's nothing wrong with paste. There we go. All right, so today we received conditional commitment from the U.S. Department of Energy's Loan Programs Office for up to $6.6 billion to support the construction of our next generation manufacturing facility in Staunton Springs, North Georgia. We expect this landmark facility to support at least 7,500 jobs by 2030 and be the springboard to the expansion of the R2 and R3 and more. And I may have pronounced that wrong because in Virginia there's a town like this and they call it Staunton. But elsewhere in the country, the pronunciation should be expected to be called Stanton. Uh, Whatever. Not that I don't appreciate and respect your guys' names. Come to consensus, and then strangers will know how to say your town name. Come to consensus. Uh, so this is pretty cool. Rivian was in line for this money, but they had some issues being small and inexperienced, and now this money has been basically guaranteed to them, and they are going to use it to further what's going on. They have spoken out against removing the $7,500 tax incentive and against endless tariffs, but it sounds like they are going to try to find a way to make it work. Not that they have a choice, but the fact that they are doing more than just whining is pretty cool. Uh, then we've got a post from Starlink. Starlink Direct to Cell works with existing LTE phones wherever you can see the sky. No special apps or hardware required. That is in response to their parent, in response to SpaceX announcing that they had launched the final 12 direct to cell Starlink satellites needed to complete the initial base constellation. So this now works over, I think they said 6 or 12 different carriers around the world, T-Mobile here in the US, and their MVNOs. And as they put more to fill out the rest of the constellation of the direct to cell V1s, they will open it up further. And then whenever Starship starts launching the big Starlink satellites, we might see an even larger competition with some of the smaller cell providers, either directly from SpaceX or Starlink, or just from the other carriers having a leg up by being able to be on Starlink. And then I went on to speculate that as this continues, we could see Starlink displace a good portion of the terrestrial internet because you've got the laser links, so you've got everything moving in a vacuum, and with the appropriate with the appropriate ground stations or just space routing, you could uh, you could get rid of the need for many of the local links that are here on the ground, especially out in like the rural areas, or it could displace undersea cables because maybe not all of them, but it could displace a significant portion of undersea cables again because of the latency and other advantages you get, as well as at the time, uh, Russia is accused of destroying another cable around, say, Finland or Norway, someplace like that, and it's a lot harder to sabotage a, uh, a space link and make it look like a shark did it because if you launch a missile at a satellite or pilot another satellite into another satellite, and uh, you can't blame it on the sharks. I mean, I guess you could, but nobody would believe you. So then you'd be having to prove how intelligent sharks are with their tech to make that one work. Got a pretty cool picture coming out of France. Copy this link here. Click in there, and we enter. These are French police. They've got their upfitter is shipping them some of their completed cruisers, except that the page says it doesn't exist, which is baloney. Still says that. I got something for that. All right, so we're gonna pretend I'm making a new post. We're gonna copy this image. We're going to pretend I'm making a new post. We're not. There you go. There we go. And I want to paste the image in, and you can see what I have here in my notebook. This was from Esther Rivers, and it was a bunch of French police uh, Model 3 performances headed to France or headed somewhere. Agreed. Great choice. I'm still curious when we can get rid of the external light bars for aerodynamic reasons, folks. Let's see. Motor 1 has some interesting rumors. Rumors. Let's call it rumors. Um, Two unrelated Nissan executives say the company has 12 to 14 months to survive. Nissan cut more than 9,000 jobs earlier this month while simultaneously slashing production by nearly 20%. Nissan's operating profit dropped 85% in Q3. And at the time, I commented that this appears to be a bit of a tortoise and the hare situation. Wait, I have a link to that comment. Let's just see what I said. Uh-oh. Just do what I click on. Don't click any extra clicks. Come on, come on. No? There it is. So I said, I've slept since then. What did I say? So one thing I've learned is I need to put my own tweets in here, and I didn't delete my tweets, so this could be my connection, or X could be having server issues. Relevant people, it's me, car dealership guy. Uh, oh yes. Uh, so car dealership guy says that um, I'll read it in a moment, but I said I wonder where they'd be if they hadn't run their CEO out in an instrument case, and Queen of Draz says, "Oh, spit take," and then I said more. So let's start with car dealership guy, and then I'll go on to what I said next. Uh, Anonymous sources who claim to be executives for the automaker told the Financial Times that without key investors, Nissan has 12 to 24 months to survive. The sources also say that the company isn't ruling out Honda taking a majority stake and that all options are on the table. Honda would be a better choice than Toyota, just so that you don't have the mega monopoly going on. They are still they're much further behind in volume and market share than Toyota, but they have a presence. Unfortunately, their their EV program isn't where it needs to be. It is further than Toyota's, and then they are running two GMs with their badges on them. But this could get interesting, and I don't know necessarily that they want the Nissan EVs, but there are some patents and other IP that they could use from that division that could help them going forward. Because unlike Toyota, they don't believe in not doing EVs. They just don't have the resources to focus, and they seem to think that gas is still viable, even though it's a dead man walking. Let's see. But when asked about the report, Nissan said they wouldn't comment on speculation. Uh, Read today's top automotive news stories at the car dealership guy site. Uh, Best comment ever is Nissan's time to shine. And if you don't get the reference, this was for Jaguar. They did themselves a very talked about ad campaign where we've only seen like a grating and grill on the car and nothing else about the car, but there were a bunch of just fashion models that were very androgynous looking or possibly trans looking. We don't really know for sure, but I think that's what the tutus is all about. All right, so then Seldom LA Auto Show lost in a sea of Me Too products. They were number 3 or number 4 in every category. Felt bad for them. They're struggling indeed. Good insight. All right, so let's go back and look at my second uh, installment on the situation there with Nissan. So I said, I mean, the guy was saying hybrids are stupid. Let's do EVs way back when Gen 2 had just come out, which is true. And so that's why I never wanted the Altima hybrid, because he said hybrids are stupid. Why would I buy your product if you think they're stupid? And then the Nissan Leaf came out. And I was like, that's a cool vehicle. Had a chance to drive one, loved it. Thankfully, did not buy one because when I was looking and ended up buying the Volt, the Leaf barely made my commute. And then when we saw what happened in the Southeast with their battery longevity, I would have been screwed trying to get to work within a couple of months. So it's a good thing I had the Bolt. And yeah, I was just on the edge of the Volt's ability to go on EV only, which would have been 2 trips on the Leaf, but um, it was at a car dealership. But at the time, some folks would often block the chargers with just randomness, so I would not have been able to get home if I didn't get a full charge. Anyway, uh, yes, then the Leaf came out in 2010 and made sense. Instead of capitalizing on their lead, they ran him out in what seemed like trumped up charges, and now they've not only lost their place in the EV leadership, but burned their whole position in the market. It's like watching the tortoise and the hare, but somehow Nissan never made it to the finish line. Dead man walking. Yes. So that's what it looks like. Close my tweet and go back to Motor One. See what they had to say about it. They're the ones reporting on it. The Nissan Murano. Didn't realize they had this grill. Is it stateside? It doesn't look like any Nissan I've seen stateside. I guess it could be. You just see the back of these things now. I don't notice them from the front anymore. Dealers are selling cars at a loss, production has slowed, and more recently the company cut thousands of jobs and has sold a third of its stake in Mitsubishi. Ouch. It may have made it may have been a little too late. The company is reportedly looking for new long-term investors, such as a bank or large insurance company. I don't know. I want an insurance company to own my car company to replace some of Renault's equity holdings. Yeah, their whole thing was they didn't want to. They didn't want the reason they ran him out, if the allegations are not true, was they didn't want France to own Nissan, so they made sure it didn't. We'll see how this goes, and it doesn't look good. I don't buy most of this. Companies are always looking for new investors. This isn't anything new. I will say that in general, Nissan's biggest problem is their clientele. Let's just say perception is that it might be a bit ghetto. Um, so Mitsubishi used to have this image that this guy is alluding that Nissan is gaining, and there was a bad joke among car sales folks about the three diamonds being about people's creditworthiness and finances. And well, there aren't that many new Mitsubishis in the market at the moment. Let's just say that. New owner of a Pathfinder. I hope Honda takes over Nissan. Yeah, that would be nice. Now that they have replaced the CVT with a standard transmission in the new models, Pathfinder is actually a good car. But Nissan's reputation is damaged by poor quality of the Renault Alliance. Okay, continuing on. If they're going to be just kind of harping on the gas car part, I don't care. We're here about the EVs. Come on, scroll. I guess I'll have to reboot the computer before the next show. No, it was just scrolling normally, now it's reversed. That's why my scroll reverser. Turn it off, turn it on again. Off, on, roll. Okay. Oh, okay, so this one is big. This one is big. Uh, you've never been able to directly buy a Model 3 or Model Y at the end of your lease. And then Tesla took away the ability to trade it at another dealership and have that happen. And then they moved that to the S and the X. But now, even if you're already in the lease that says no, you can go to Tesla at the end of your lease, and it's a normal lease now. It has the same end of terms as every other car maker. You can sell it, buy it, trade it. They even have right now they're running early termination, not termination, but like as part of their push to get the excuse me, as part of their turn the volume down, please. Yeah, on the TV, turn the volume down, please. Why? Because I can hear it. Huh? Yeah, I didn't say anything about robots. She's obsessed with robots. Um, yes, so you can they are in their push to get the most cars out the door. They're even allowing you to more than just 30 days out now. They're allowing you to end your obligation on your lease if you're willing to do a purchase or another lease of another Tesla. Get with your salesperson, sales advisor, check in your app. I don't know. Uh, the people you're working on to get your new one, talk to them, and they will assist you with the possibility of getting out of one without extra payments and into the new one before the end of the month, end of the year, end of the quarter, month, quarter, year. So, end of lease options, you can now upgrade to a new Tesla vehicle, or you can return your vehicle when you take delivery. You can return your Tesla vehicle. So if you're just done with a car, you can just here you go, I'm done. Here's the contract. Bye bye. And then they give you return checklists. I don't know. Honda's been in the past pretty lenient on their returns. Uh, Toyota was, I think Ford, or was it Toyota and BMW? There were a couple of them that were like nitpicky when you went to turn it in. They'd get you for every little thing. And so review any excess wear and tear on your vehicle. And then so basically that was to say I don't know where Tesla was on that spectrum of like super lenient on lease turn in to like bring out your checkbook. Um, so start your return in the Tesla app. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can do your leases in the app now too. Uh, to start your release return process, the app will guide you through the process to initiate your return, complete your inspection, schedule your drop off, and to start the return, tap in the app and do as they say. Both fobs, mobile charging bundle. At your drop appointment, you must bring these items. The good thing is on the new lease, you don't get any of those things, so you don't got to worry about it. You can extend your lease, which I think that was still an option previously, but it wasn't. You couldn't just keep doing it. So if your lease is in good standing, you can apply for a lease extension for up to 6 months beyond your original lease end date. Extensions can only be granted once, so that sounds like they didn't change much. And you can purchase your Tesla vehicle. That's new. With a new lease buyout, you can purchase your vehicle at the end of the lease starting November 27th of 2024. All leased vehicles are eligible for purchase. And if Tesla did your lease through another company, they are working on getting everything completed, so this is all true. But at the moment, the original terms of it, you can't keep it, still stand. Fees. A purchase fee of $350 applies to all vehicles. Local taxes and fees apply. That's actually not bad. $350. I think we were charging more. Was it 20 years ago? Good gracious, 20 years ago at Honda. Almost 20 years ago. Shoot. Time flies. Uh, when, when people turn in leases. Uh, I didn't have too many people keep their Chevrolets, so I don't know how that worked. Uh, that's pretty cool. Then you get your frequently asked questions. I wonder if you do get if we extend the warranty on the leases, you may be eligible to purchase an extended service agreement. Uh, but that's big news. And if you're a lessee, that is something you might be interested in. Then we've got some sad news in the community. We don't know how this will shake out yet, but Tesla Scope was saying that these changes could cost them $60 million per year. That's a lot of money. Tesla releases API pricing, and Dev says it would cost $60 million per year to run his third-party app. So you guys know I run Tesla Fi and Tesla Scope and Tessie, and I give you referral codes to all those to get extra um, trial periods if you like, as well as whatever promotions they're running. Either get extra trial or extra free months after you purchase it, whichever one you like. Just let me know, and I'll give you a code. But so Tesla had an API that came out last year. Before that, these companies were just kind of emulating the Tesla app, and now they've been using the official API. But Tesla decided they were going to release pricing for this API access, and it's no longer free. So today, uh, their pricing is 150,000 signals for $1. But a signal is misleading. It's not a message. If you want to get the speed, the battery charge, the heading, and I don't know, the wind load on the car, that is four signals. Let's see. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's four signals right there, and you're gonna need them at least one a minute. So four, four, four. So a drive could net you several thousand signals, and you're gonna want more than just those 4 points of data because uh, the kind of person who subscribes to this wants to know everything about the car, or at least be able to check what they want. And yeah, so the commands are 1,000 requests for $1. And that's going to include things like unlock, lock, start, remote start, honk the horn, turn sentry mode on and off, adjust the battery charge level, anything you can send to the car. You get 1,000 of them for $1. But it's not per customer. This is for the app. Data. Pull all different signals, commands, and data needs. And it doesn't mean much to me, but the developer of Tessie, a third-party Tesla analytics and automation app, used it and said on Reddit that it would cost about sorry, not Tesla Scope. It would cost Tessie $60 million in API fees to run his app under the pricing model. And you might say, well, how could he know? Uh, they've been running this for a year. All you got to do is put in your last couple months of types of requests, and it'll tell you, give us all the money. Um, Obviously, that's not sustainable pricing for an environment, a sustainable pricing environment, but fortunately, the developer says he can get around it by dropping the API and using direct car communication over IP and Bluetooth Low Energy. Now, I don't know how that's going to work unless we're going to get like a Raspberry Pi to put in the car and plug it into the OBD2 interface or the Ethernet loop. Not really Ethernet loop, except on Cybertruck. What do they call it? Basically, the car's network on the older cars, and hopefully that includes legacy cars because they have a different one than the mid age cars. Tesla's been releasing its own fleet management features lately, which could explain this move, which throws cold water on third-party apps. It's a classic move in Silicon Valley. Just freeze out your competition. Tyler Corsair of Tesla another third-party app, added that their new API would cost about 7.5 times the app's monthly revenue. So he would be in the red by a lot. According to some other devs, they're not even amongst the worst positions. So other people have looked at these two comments and said, "Yeah, that's not as bad as us." And earlier, when Tesla announced that they were going to be doing this pricing, Tesla Scope went from allowing you to have yearly subs to turning everybody monthly. So I'm still at the same price, but I'm no longer on an annual sub with Tesla Scope. And Lee says, "Happy Sunday after Thanksgiving." Thank you. And let's see. Electric says their top comment was, "Tesla is one of the best things about owning a Tesla. There's a Rivian version now, and if Tesla kills it, Tesla, it's the nail in the coffin for me buying another car from them. If I can no longer get all the data Tesla currently offers, next vehicle will likely be a Rivian once they get a native NACS plug." And then the comments clowned on him a little bit, saying that, well, you don't think Rivian's going to try this too eventually? And if this works, then yeah, Rivian will try it themselves as well. But it might take them more time given their position in the market. They are not number two. um, it's Tesla, then a bunch of legacies, and then Rivian and Polestar. So, or not Rivian and Polestar, no, Polestar too, but Rivian and Lucid. So you'll be safe with Rivian on this for a little bit, at least. I would suspect. This is reminiscent of a situation Reddit had last year where it also updated its API pricing, which resulted in killing some popular third-party apps that had become more popular than Reddit's own mobile app. And Reddit wanted us to use their mobile app so they could get ads, which I blocked. It'll likely kill some third-party apps. Fortunately, it does sound like some will be able to work around it. I wouldn't be surprised to see some give up amid what can be perceived as a hostile environment, a hostile move from Tesla towards third-party apps. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Uh, Tesla has also included $10 per month of credits for the owner, so I do suspect we might see some of these apps reformulate to the point where you will um, basically run like a virtual machine, or uh, basically you'll put your code into their system, and then the app will do its thing as if it was you, and you will get the bill, and then you'll still pay them for having the app. Um, it's one way for them to work it and make things more affordable. Uh, it sounds like Tesla is going to go for the module to put in your car, whereas I haven't heard of anybody flipping the script and saying, "Hey, let's have you put your code in the settings, and we'll do it as if it was you." This one I actually pulled up for later, so we could watching dumbed down version of 13. Is that for us legacy owners or V3s? Probably not legacies. We'll open that and take a look. This one, I don't know if I pulled it or not. I looked at it. $400 million dollar electric heavy equipment order from China is the biggest ever so far. BMW plans to switch to Regensburg plant logistics they're going to basically run their equipment inside the plant on hydrogen. This one I pulled up for later. Renault E-Tech Semi gets 600 kilometers range for 2025 and logs 19 million miles. So with a single rear axle, it tells us it's probably either purely European play or also at the ports where they don't need the full capacity. Renault trucks don't get a lot of headlines outside of France, but the company is serious about electric trucking. In their 2025 model year, the truck is packing serious range, more than 600 kilometers, or about 375 miles per charge. So, at whatever capacity this thing has, it is a little bit more range than the short range Tesla Semi. Um, for clarification, you've got a long range Tesla Semi at 500 miles and a short range at I think 350. Not saying all Tesla semis are short range because that would be quite a statement to make. Let's see. They claim they've done 19 million miles, lowering CO2 emissions, which is very important over the last 5 years. They're ideally suited for long haul transport, though. Renault says that ultra long range isn't the ultimate goal. So they have sleepers, or what's the deal here? Encouraging their fleet customers to spec out the size of their trucks' batteries according to their actual needs and optimize capacity for loads, routes, and charging strategies. I don't think it would take much encouragement here, as much as it would take to help them figure out what their needs are. Because I'm sure they would love to spend less and have less maintenance and all that jazz. We're not looking to enter a race for autonomy on a single charge. Okay, that puts you in a different place in the market for sure. And continuing on, what was this thing I opened up? Why does he say Tesla's dumbing down? That was at 5:52 this morning, and my saltiness was yesterday evening, near midnight. Tesla started posting AI roadmaps for owners. Highly anticipated V13 includes October's main goal before it slipped into November. 13.2 early access. Same stuff I told you at the beginning of the show. Many of the features listed as upcoming improvements, especially the 3 times increase in model size scaling and model context length scaling, were in the notes about the 13 that Tesla was supposed to release in November. Well, they did release it in November. Barely. The most significant and most impactful feature towards improving miles between disengagement is there. The ability to unpark, reverse, and park. I think he's talking about the same thing. I don't understand the dumbed down part. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla will stop posting these monthly updates. At the time of the writing, we don't have the December update, and the last one came October 31st. Fred. Simmer down. Top comment. I wouldn't take FSD seriously until it reads all traffic signs and responds appropriately, especially red turns on red. Considering whether or not what the sign says is actually accurate or applies depending on other contexts, such as construction zones or school hours, temporary detours, or just mistaken signs they never bothered to update or remove, etc. Maybe not all of that, but yeah, some of that is critical. So I'll have to agree with you on that. All FSD owners were expecting version 13 in October, and then all Hardware 4 owners were expecting version 13 in November, and now only some Hardware 4 owners are getting a dumbed down version of 13 in November. Okay, that's what he's saying. It's not the full what we were looking for. Fair enough. And no clear path towards unsupervised self-driving. Yeah. The goal of unsupervised self-driving by Q2 of 2025 has always been ridiculous, but it's no surprise since Tesla has been wrong about its self-driving timelines for years. Now the fact that it's also missing closer short-term goals is also not that great for building confidence. Eh. Next, Tesla needs 2,000x its miles between disengagement in 6 months. Please. Uh, we'll see what happens. I'm not. I'm not gonna. No. I'm just gonna be salty that there's not even a chance because not only am I legacy, but I'm also Harbor 3. I couldn't use it on a four-lane highway because I kept reading Route 15 signs and speed limit 15 and abruptly slowing down on the highway. My problem has always been in Georgia. You get your 40 mile per hour minimum separated from the main speed limit sign, so they sometimes they'll try to do 45 on the highway because at 40 it wants to do 45. But that's that. Continuing on, since that wasn't on the plan, we already talked about FSD. We talked about API, which was there, and we wanted to talk about. And if my mouse will stop jumping, we've got this article from Tesla Oracle. Increasing the connectivity of EV infrastructure is creating cybersecurity worries. Oh, it goes back. I just realized that. That one I didn't read, so we're going to read it together. That semi truck we just looked at was there in the notes. Kia recall. The same Kia recall we started with. I guess I just found it again. No, it was Hyundai when I first found it. And then the second time I found it was Kia. And so the one we talked about was the Hyundai Kia. All right, we're spinning. Let's see what Tesla Oracle's talking about here. This is a legit concern since as you plug into these cars, you are making data connections to them, and if your data cybersecurity is not up to snuff, somebody could hack you back through the car. Okay, electric vehicles leverage advanced technologies to manage power and ensure a stable energy grid. However, their increased connectivity has worried cybersecurity experts due to software and hardware vulnerabilities. Much the same way that we found that a lot of our infrastructure is at password 000 and is plugged into the internet. Not a good thing. I'm not talking EVs, I'm talking like sewer plants and gas plants. Not good. EVs require modern tools to enhance the driving experience. The good thing is with EVs, we're starting with the ability to have things like certificates on everything, and um, we've got the tools this time around. So if there are 000s everywhere or poor programming, they should be upgradable. And if they're not, then that's really on the implementation. EVs require drawing power from municipal grids, so V2G innovations to balance energy, blah, blah. So yes, where they interface with the regular grid would be a weak point. Increased connectivity has benefited Tesla owners and other EVs. Yeah, but that's through their manufacturer who can implement that correctly. Public charging stations are concerning because of their daily use. Yeah, I'd just like to get a virus from the public charging station. It's not really a concern yet, but it could be. Someone hacks the charging station, they could obtain credit card numbers and other. Oh, well, yeah, that's a problem right now. Um, they could obtain credit card numbers and other sensitive information. Um, Depending on how it's implemented, yeah, it could be. IEEE engineers have held their 97th vehicular technology conference in Florence, Italy. And at the event, researchers presented their findings on EV cybersecurity and privacy vulnerabilities. You wouldn't pirate a car, would you? Besides stolen information, EV owners also risk malware attacks at public charging stations. With these viruses, uh, outside threats compromise security and could gain control of the electric car. So this is where it's beautiful that Tesla does participate in Black Hat and Pwn to Own and all these other security focused events because not only does it give people stuff to practice on, they stand to win substantial cash prize and a car, and Tesla gets free security research that they can use to fix stuff that they overlooked. Uh, Other automakers also participate. I don't know if they give the same kind of bounties that Tesla does, but if you don't see your automaker participating in these, you want to see what they're up to for their cybersecurity story, and not just, oh well, we buy modules from Bosch and Continental, so we're good. No, no, no. Then you want to see Bosch and Continental at the conferences, and not just those two, but the top of the mind. Um, Faster chargers let EV owners in and out of charging stations and reduce cybersecurity liabilities. Tesla owners benefit from charging 200 miles in 15 minutes because of superchargers. And in worst case scenarios, these attacks could control physical systems inside the cars. EVs rely on software to use cruise control. Every car does. Batteries and other critical components if compromised. And we saw this with Chrysler's Uconnect way back in the day before Stellantis and Fiat were involved with them, where as proof of concept, they were able to run some Jeeps off the road through the head unit. But I don't think we've seen any actual situations with it. And we've seen other recalls of Chrysler for newer versions of that system. Uh, what could Tesla and other EV manufacturers do? I think they're just putting Tesla in here for the search and clicks, or because they're Tesla Oracle. Uh, the automotive industry must focus on cybersecurity basics to reduce the risk of attacks. Uh, yeah, cybersecurity model certification provides a framework for enhancing cybersecurity practices, such as, uh, sorry, not such as, the foundation employs sensible tactics to protect software and hardware. Level one, the minimum, is requires malware protection and incident response to address cybersecurity incidents. Would hope everybody's got this. Other stringent requirements include security training and auditing. Employees must know best practices and continue learning as the industry evolves. I still remember when Tesla poached Apple's cybersecurity lead. She came in and shut down the company for about a month until they started coding with security practices. Made sure everything was signed, and the certificates were used, and that there was a certain amount of zero trust going on, and so forth. And that was confidence inspiring that she was there and that she was making them do the right thing and that they were listening. There still were some lax permission issues when we found out what some of the folks were doing with the camera data, but that was resolved. And we're going to need to want more clarity and then demand it from these other manufacturers as well as Tesla to see what they're doing with regards to cybersecurity. Let's see. Some responsibilities fall on the manufacturers. Others lie with the drivers. Yeah, you gotta watch what you're doing with your car too. You don't want to just be connected to just any old hotspots. You gotta apply your updates, your security patches. So not yet an issue, but it is something to be concerned with. And just like with your phone, tablet, computer, you want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence with regards to your cybersecurity on your any car, not just an EV, but any car. Keep your mobile apps up to date. Be mindful of what you're connecting to them, that sort of thing. So, short show today because I spent time on Thanksgiving and fixing the microphone and all of that. So I want to thank all of you guys for your time today. I want to thank our channel members for your monetary support. I want to thank all of you guys for taking time out of your day to listen to me and chat with us. and we will catch you on the flip side. And at some point, I promise I'll catch up on my Twitter notifications and then try to stay on top of them. But catch you guys Monday for the Tesla Life Express and Wednesday for the Tesla Life live show, and we'll go from there.